Last season, without the adequate squad depth, this Arsenal team fell apart. So imagine, by signing just one player, we could strengthen at centre-back, left-back and defensive midfield. Well, that player is Lisandro Martinez, a prime target for Mikel Arteta. But what's the latest on the deal, and have Arsenal made their third offer? Does Youri Tielemans dream of an Arsenal transfer? And could there be another hijack of the Raphinha transfer? Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is Babs14 and welcome back to your boys channel. I hope you guys are doing amazing as always. Smash a like if you enjoy, subscribe if you are new. Into the final 1,500 on the road to the gargantuan 100k. Join the revolution and let's get into all of the latest Arsenal transfer news. And starting off with the latest on Lisandro Martinez. At left back, at defensive midfield and centre back, last season if we had players that were able to play there, potentially could have helped us get into the Champions League. And that is why Mikel Arteta has his eyes on the Argentine international in Lisandro Martinez. Arsenal made their first offer, which was rejected. The second offer was also rejected, and today, according to Charlie Wiet, Arsenal have made a third offer to Ajax for defender Lisandro Martinez. The club have improved the financial terms of their second bid of £34 million. And ultimately, when teams make their third bids, those are normally the pivotal bids, the decisive bids, the final bids as teams look to agree a deal. And even according to one of the most reliable Argentine sources in Cesar Luis Merlo, Arsenal's new offer for Lisandro Martinez is €40 million plus 5 in add-ons. Ajax are yet to respond. I believe it indicates that Ajax have not accepted a bid, but having not rejected it either, it means that we're in the negotiation phase and both clubs are trying to find a middle ground that suits all parties for the player, for Arsenal and Ajax, and he also isn't far off the €50 million price tag that Ajax sets according to Fabrizio Romano. And even according to Sam Dean, he understands that Arsenal's latest bid for Martinez is worth £35 million, rising to almost 40. The feeling in Holland is that Arsenal wants to get a deal done quickly, with competition expected from Manchester United. There have been some reliable reporters that have confirmed that Manchester United are ready to firm up their interest in Martinez and they're ready to make their first official offer. And as we've seen with the likes of Raphinha, Arsenal can negotiate, but if sometimes you over negotiate, you give time for the competition to come in, to swoop in for the player, agree a deal, and then you're in massive trouble. But on the interest from Manchester United, Ben Jacobs says there is no indication that Man United will hijack Arsenal's move for Lisandro Martinez. Arsenal are speaking about a third bid and United haven't even given their first. I think they have other priorities. Of course, we're not fans of Man United, but looking into their team, they need a player that is a right back, centre back. Martinez is more of a left back. By sliding Malacia, they're getting a left back. So do they need Martinez as a centre back? I don't think it's their priority, but of course, with the ex-relationship with Erik ten Hag, I would not be surprised if United came in, made a serious offer, and that will give Ajax exactly what they want. These clubs want bidding wars, they want teams to give as much money as possible, and if United and Arsenal enter a bidding war, it might just be squeaky bum times. Ben Jacobs also says, the last update I got from Arsenal was that they are working on it. They are confident, they are hoping to table another offer, and they believe that they will reach an agreement to at least get that deal to the point to be able to talk to the player. I don't believe that personal terms will be an issue because the player has indicated he wants to move to the Premier League. This is all a matter of agreeing that fee with Ajax, and with Arsenal making their third offer, them closing into the price tag set by Ajax, with the reports that have claimed that Arsenal wants to get their key business done before the start of pre-season. I expect that in this week and the next week towards the early parts, we should see further developments, and my fingers are crossed, of course, anything's possible, that Arsenal agree a deal, put this to bed, let us fans relax and get him over to the Emirates Stadium, because for me it would be a fantastic signing. The imminent Arsenal signing Gabriel Jesus bumped into an Arsenal fan in London this morning and he said to him, "I'm so excited for this new chapter." That man is a lucky man, bumping into Gabby Jesus, the smile on the face, and ultimately he's basically confirmed he signed for Arsenal. He's passed his medical, he was seen at London Colney, the contracts have been signed, and all that is left is for Arsenal to stop longing out the announcement, show the Arsenal fans and the entire world that Gabby Jesus is Arsenal's brand new number 9. So hoping for either tomorrow or even Friday, Arsenal give us the announcement and put this transfer to bed. On to the drama of Raphinha. Now, so many things have happened. The last we talked about it was that Chelsea had come in, swooped in, hijacked the deal, made an agreement with Leeds United of £55 million, and the Arsenal so far had not matched that bid. Let's just say the drama has continued, as Raphinha's agent Deco was seen arriving at the headquarters of FC Barcelona. Now that was very interesting in the first place, but then you got a transfer bomber from Gerard Romero, saying the Barca are still very alive in the Raphinha race. The club have high chances of signing the player, although Chelsea have an agreement with Leeds due to the strength of Deco and the player. So despite Deco being an ex-midfielder for Chelsea, this guy is now in Barcelona trying to get a transfer over the line for Raphinha to go to Catalonia. And even according to Bruno Andrade, Deco has been in Barcelona to see if the club can make a final attempt to get to Raphinha, who prefers a move to the Catalan side even though Chelsea and Leeds have an agreement. And it just almost shows that despite Chelsea agreeing their fee and getting the hard pot sorted out, thus far they have not agreed the personal terms, unlike Barcelona. And according to Fabrizio Romano, Chelsea are waiting for Raphinha's answer. Deco has a direct talk with Chelsea scheduled for tomorrow. He also confirms that Barcelona and Arsenal will try until the end. These next 24 hours are going to be decisive, because if Raphinha is able to agree personal terms with Chelsea, there is nothing holding Chelsea back to completing a transfer. But with the player's agent in Barcelona, Raphinha's priority still being Camp Nou, why exactly are Arsenal still waiting? Well, according to Ben Jacobs, Chelsea's tactic is to move within 48 hours, knowing that Barcelona can't reach an agreement with Leeds that quick. Barcelona are still hoping Raphinha delays the deciding, and Arsenal are still not ruling out another bid. Despite some Chelsea fans putting out false rumours, Arsenal haven't been rejected by Raphinha. In fact, according to Nazar Cancela, a Chelsea correspondent, Tottenham Hotspur are the only club that Raphinha has turned down. But the fact that Raphinha hasn't shut down Arsenal or rejected any offers from Arsenal gives us Arsenal fans a dangerous amount of small hope. But as the saying goes, hope is what kills us Arsenal fans, and I'm still not optimistic that Arsenal will come back in with a new bid, and I still believe Raphinha is more likely to go to Chelsea, and if not, Barcelona. According to Charles Watts, the move for Raphinha, even if they fail, shows that Arsenal are prepared to invest heavily on a wide player. Just the sheer intent that Arsenal have shown by putting £50 million on the table for Raphinha, it indicates that Arsenal will still have a lot of money to spend, and the signing of a Martinez potentially on top of Jesus and Vieira does not affect Arsenal's pursuit of another wide forward. There haven't been any reports of any other wide forwards recently. In the past, you've had the likes of Cody Gakpo, you've had the likes of Gerard Bowen, and the very few links to Serge Gnabry. But the fact that there aren't any other genuine links so far says to me that Arsenal are still hoping that Raphinha rejects Chelsea, Barca can't afford him, and potentially Deco has given Edu Gaspar some level of indication that the player is still open to a move to the Emirates. Personally, I just don't see Arsenal matching that offer, and I think we'll see Arsenal eventually move on to other wide targets. Which ace do Arsenal have up their sleeves? As always, we're going to have to wait and see. Moving on, let's talk about the dream of Youri Tielemans. Now this is a player that was a priority, a player that Arsenal were advancing negotiations, according to Ben Jacobs, agreeing personal terms. But ever since the signing of Fabio Vieira, all the talks of Youri Tielemans have kind of slowed down, and there have been some rumours of other moves, maybe to Old Trafford and Man United. But according to Ben Jacobs, he says that Youri Tielemans will choose Arsenal over Man United all day long. His dream was to play for Arsenal, but he signed for Leicester because of the guaranteed first team football. Some fans might not know this, but Arsenal have had a very long-term interest in Youri Tielemans, not even his days at Leicester City, but going past that when he used to be at Anderlecht. Arsene Wenger was a massive fan, and before he moved to Monaco, Arsenal were closing into a deal, but again, due to first team guarantees, he moved to Monaco instead. But it's not only that Arsenal are long-term admirers, but more importantly, according to Ben Jacobs, they have spent over 1 year on a transfer, negotiating personal terms, negotiating fees, and trying to put the frameworks down for a transfer. So one can only imagine that Arsenal won't just throw that away, and potentially after they secure the services of Lisandro Martinez, you should expect Arsenal to go back in with a brand new offer and try to agree a deal with Leicester for Youri Tielemans. As things stands, the deal is on the back burners, and that ultimately gives other teams the chance to jump in on a deal and try to agree a fee. So according to Darren Stephen Lewis of the Mirror, West Ham United are keen to sign Leicester midfielder Youri Tielemans in this summer transfer window. So West Ham are throwing their hat into the ring, but as Ben Jacobs says, the dream of Youri Tielemans is to move to the Emirates. So unless we see a team that's in the Champions League make a move, Arsenal are still by far the favourites. There's always that chance that, as we have seen with Raphinha, if you stand still, others might not. And that's where Arsenal have to be very careful with the case of Youri Tielemans. Keeping it on the midfielders and the future of Lucas Torreira. When speaking to El Telegrafo on staying at Arsenal, he says there's no chance. From the beginning, they told me I didn't have a place, so I don't want to stay here either. We'll look into a new direction. Any team that wants me has to buy me, which would be around 15 million euros. So Lucas Torreira has put it to bed there and there. He is definitely leaving Arsenal, and he's confirmed that in fact Arsenal don't want him. You have to understand that from the moment Torreira signed for Arsenal back in 18-19, there's always been murmurs from his camp and even given interviews in South America that he wasn't happy or settled in England, and he's always low-key wanted to move away. So maybe Mikel Arteta and Arsenal have seen that and they've gone, you know what, we don't think you want to be here, and so you don't have to be here. In terms of the rumoured interest, the likes of Marseille and plenty of clubs in this area have the interest, and as long as Arsenal get that money, it could prove to be very important in their pursuit for the likes of Tielemans, Martinez and another wide forward. Moving on to the other Arsenal news today, and starting off with the future of our young centre-back Daniel Ballard. Let's not forget that Arsenal agreed a deal with Burnley, but with that transfer collapsing, it looks like Ballard is going elsewhere and potentially up north. According to Peter Roque, Sunderland have agreed a deal with Arsenal for the signing of defender Daniel Ballard. The player has already completed a medical, with the deal set to be completed in the next 24 hours. So Daniel Ballard is on his way to Sunderland in the Championship, and of course they are a massive club, and they are a club that are back on the rise, so potentially it could be a very good move, and on the price tag itself we're talking £2 to £3 million. Simon Collins with an exclusive says that Arsenal have held talks with Jack Wilshere as they look to fill their vacant under-23s and under-18s head coach positions. It's understood that Wilshere recently spoke with the academy manager Per Mertesacker about the vacant roles. Wilshere returned to Arsenal last season, training with the first team, never getting a contract, and in the second half of last season he played of course in the Danish Super League. But with that contract expiring, Wilshere is once again a free agent without a club. It looks like Super Jack could potentially be once again on his way back to the Emirates Stadium, but this time as a head coach. Ultimately, I'm not against the idea, and looking at Per Mertesacker, Mikel Arteta, Edu Gaspar, Arsenal like to have the ex-players involved in the club, and with Wilshere coming through Hill End, I think he's an expert in the category, so potentially him being the brand new coach of the academy, it could make a lot of sense. And finally, the Arsenal first team are back as they start their pre-season training. This is of course excluding players that had international duties towards the end of last season. Those players will join up later, but with Arsenal returning next week in a game in Germany, their first game of pre-season, it's very good to see the Arsenal players back, which includes Hector Bellerin back from his loan spell at Real Betis. Bellerin is still an Arsenal player, but I don't expect that to be the case for much longer. Ben White was also among the Arsenal players back in pre-season training. Last season he was pretty decent, but this next season for Benny Blanco is going to be pretty massive, because now he has to compete with a certain Mbappe of centre-backs in William Saliba. And he also had the return of Thomas Partey back in full Arsenal first team training. Going into the start of the brand new season, to get such key first team players back will only help Arsenal in their hard start to the season. Crystal Palace away on a Friday night football. We all know how important Thomas is, so hopefully that remains the case. And then you also had the man himself, Mikel Arteta, back leading the pre-season training, heading into his third full season as an Arsenal manager. Without over-exaggerating, this season is definitely going to be gargantuan. This team is now all his players, and with the further investment that Arsenal making, there is no denying that the pressure is certainly on, with the extra squad depth and the quality of a Jesus, of a Fabio Vieira, maybe Tielemans, Martinez. For me, my target for Mikel Arteta next season is very clear. We have to make the Champions League. But what are your own thoughts on Arteta? What are your realistic and honest targets for the Arsenal manager into his third full season as Arsenal manager? But that is the video there and there. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you have, don't forget to smash a like and subscribe if you are new. If you would like to follow your boy on all of his social medias, then the links will be down below in the description. But that was today's episode of the Transfers FC. The support that you guys have shown is amazing, and as we enter the final 1000 to 100k, once again, as always, a gargantuan thank you for watching. Enjoy yourselves, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye bye.